Oh,
Yo, this is Isaac coming to you live with my boy Mike here. We're about to talk
what's up?
five heartbeats.
Yeah.
No strings
Oh
attached.
man, this will definitely be a spoilers review. Before, if you haven't seen Five Heartbeats by now, look, just go see it. But we're gonna spoil it, but it's gonna be fun.
And if you haven't seen the five heartbeats, like he said, the link is in the description box. I posted a little trailer because it's one of those can't miss classics.
Yeah, yeah, and it's on Netflix too, so don't sleep.
There you go. So,
Yeah.
hey, it's my page, so I'll let you do the honors. What were your likes and dislikes with this wonderful movie?
Well, all right, cool. I'll start off real quick to um, just well, there's no dislikes. I don't have no dislikes about this movie. It's straight up. I don't have no dislikes. This movie is, yo, man. This movie is literally probably when it comes to like films about I guess like fake autobiographies or whatever, because it's
Like a
loosely based on.
semi-realistic
Yeah, because
autobiography.
it's sort of based on like Temptations and those and like those groups back then. So it's like loosely based on them. But yo, man, on the real, I don't have any problems with this movie. Like I loved it when I was younger. I watched it again to see if it was just like nostalgia, but I still love it now. All the musical numbers are on point.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's a 2 hour movie, but it doesn't feel like there's a lot of fat on the film. Like there isn't a scene in there where I'm like, man, this was just pointless. Um, Everybody gives like a good, funny performance. Pops is in there. Yo, the stuff that Pops says in that joint,
Oh
he's
yeah,
like,
Post and today.
like, oh
We're
man,
coming live today with the five heartbeats.
yo, John Witherspoon is the bomb. But like on the real, like, there's really nothing wrong with this film, yo. Like you gotta see it. My
Oh yeah,
rating, I'll leave it to the end to give my rating, but like I don't have nothing against this movie. This movie was great when I was younger. It's great now. I've seen it maybe like 8, 9 times, something like that. But
okay, all right.
I love it.
Man, I mean, it brought that nostalgia feeling for me. I got to be honest, because like the last
Yeah.
time I saw it, it was like I was in high school the last time I saw it. So I mean, I got
Wow.
around to actually finally watching it again today, since it was like on my mind. I was like, man, where has Robin Townsend been in the last 15, 20 years? Man, that brother can direct. I think in fact, this was like a collaboration. I did a little research on it that Robert Downey Jr. and Keenan Ivory Wayne basically collaborated to do this movie.
Wow.
They couldn't acquire the rights to do a biopic on the Dells, which
Wow.
what this movie was supposed to be based on. What's the Dells' life? Specifically, a heavy influence with Eddie Kane Jr., played
Mhm.
by Michael Wright, respectively. But yeah, dude, the movie is on point. It's got like
Yeah.
it's got Leon hot off of his Like a Virgin
Oh,
Madonna Jesus
and
thing he
Leon
did. Remember
Leon
that?
was like the
Leon.
black actor back then.
Oh
You know
man,
what
yeah.
I mean?
If
Like,
you don't
back
know
then,
who Leon is, I
yeah.
recommend that you watch Above the Rim and the
Yeah.
Temptation movie.
I
It'll be
bet you
on
the
VH1
sisters.
every year.
Yeah, I bet you the sisters know who he is because Leon.
Everybody know who Leon. I mean,
Leon was like the original dark-skinned brother that was like really, you know what I'm saying, putting it down.
this was like pre-Wesley Snipes. This was back when
Yeah.
Tupac was actually getting into acting too. But that's a story for another day. But he was
Yeah.
in it. There we got Robert Townsend, who played
Yeah.
Duck, who was the
Yeah.
writer. Probably one of the highlight scenes I remember from a child is when I remember the piano player was like ruining her song when they were on like Apollo or something. And then he was like, man, I can't let this dude like ruin it.
Oh,
He
yeah,
snatched him off and then just started jamming that piano. That was like one of the scenes that was like a highlight from my childhood. Just remember playing the
man.
piano or Eddie Kane. We got to talk Eddie Kane.
All right, because I made notes.
Right.
I got like a list of notes, like, from the beginning to the end. But all right, so the film has five guys that are five heartbeats. When they first start out, they're kind of like this. When we first start in the film, you're seeing Robert Townsend kind of looking at mail. He sees a Rolling Stone magazine.
Yeah, he's
He looks at a
reflecting on his
picture.
time back when
Yeah.
he was a musician or a
Yeah.
star.
Yeah, so he goes. That's how the movie is set up. Now, when we enter their lives, they're already at like this little talent show, maybe like a little kind of like Chitlin Circuit talent show, and Eddie Kane is doing his thing at like some kind of gambling spot. Like, dude ain't even like with the rest of the group.
He jumps out the window, man.
Like,
He jumps out the window. How melodramatic was that? If that was one downside to the movie, that wasn't realistic, but it was funny as heck back in the day.
Yo, not only his boy gets shot in the leg, then his boy like straight gets run over. And like if you
Yep.
watch the scene, his boy gets shot in the leg. He's kind of helping him along, and he's getting chased. When his boy get hit by the car, Eddie Kane's like, "Yo, I'm out." Like, look,
Special out
I
to
did
the
my
boy.
part. I did my part. I tried. You failed twice. I can't mess with you no more.
And it's so funny you mentioned the boy because we were just talking about this last week. The same boy who played in Class Act, wasn't he like the bully from
Oh,
House Party
yeah,
movie?
the dude that Tommy
The
kept
bully, I
smacking
can't
in the back
remember
of
his
the head.
name, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And man, what's his like? Nah, it wasn't Stab. That was homie from House Party. What was his
Yeah.
name in that
I can't
joint?
remember. I just remember one sound like Bugs Bunny, and then you got the big one who played in Class Act, who was in coincidentally in the Five Heartbeats.
Five Heartbeats. Yeah, yeah. So so when they finally, Eddie Kane comes in late, they're already kind of on the stage playing their music. Eddie
Yeah.
Kane jumps in, starts singing, crowd goes wild. Now this is back in the days when everybody had to have a group, everybody had to have a band, and I'm gonna be an old man for a second. You had to dress proper, even though Robert Townsend did have them green pants. But
Yeah, the perm,
you know what
too.
I'm saying? You had to have like a tie and stuff. You had to show up. You had to show up
Couldn't show up.
performance like
Yes,
you
and be like Keith Sweat.
like you had to show up like you was going to a job interview. You couldn't just come to a show with your drawers out and just grab your nuts all day. Nah,
Yep.
you had to come smooth because the ladies, you know what I'm saying, the ladies need
The ladies weren't getting wet for all those broke niggas with like, excuse my language, but with with the chest hairs just hanging out,
Yeah,
begging.
you know. So all right, so they go in and perform. They do well. The guy, I can't think of the manager's name now, but the guy sees them. He's like, "Yo, I want to manage y'all," and they're like, "Cool, let's see what you can do." And off we go. Now, the manager is married to Diane Carroll. Let me give a shout out to Diane Carroll real quick because I also watch, look, I also watch White Collar. Diane Carroll.
She's bad at that. She's bad.
Look, Diane Carroll been fine for like 500 years. Nobody even really knows how old Diane Carroll is.
Can't trust
Like,
Wicked.
Man, you can't trust that IMDb. They're gonna be like she was born, they'll be saying she was born in like 85 or something. Like I don't know.
She's barely 18.
Yeah, she does a great job in her role. The manager takes them on and they start to pick up a little steam. Now, as they get to their next let me not miss this. So when he first gets the manager, they bring in a coordinator to get their moves tight. The little,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You gotta get it smooth. So they bring in yep. So they bring in Nicholas, hold on, what's his name? He was a famous tap dancer back in the day. Nicholas Nicholas.
We're gonna get
his name right now. Harold Nicholas.
There
That's
we
his
go.
name. So Captain Locke, aka Dresser, you know what I'm saying?
You may remember him from Man of Steel as the captain, the guy who read that little Comic-Con quote with Launch Batman vs. Superman. He's in that movie too, so check out the Five Heartbeats.
Yeah, he's been around for a minute. So
Harry Lennox,
he was like the main, I guess, dance choreographer. So
and the bass. He was the bass.
Yeah, and he sung bass. So the old cat Harold Nicholas comes in. He's like, "Yo, why you bringing in this old cat? I do all the moves." And one of the funniest moments in this movie has tons of quotables.
Yeah.
But he's like, "Yo, give me your best dance little number."
And he does this like one number when he does the spin and everything. And
he does the spin. He does the spin,
the slide, the swag.
And like Captain Locke stops. And the funniest thing, Harold Nicholas is like, "Just what I thought." Man, shit. It's just hilarious, like the way he drops the line.
Keep this in mind, people. Harold, like the guy who schooled him, is 83 years old. Like the guy looks like he's about.
Yeah.
He couldn't even move. But the dude he was basically You Got Served before You Got Served was even a memory in somebody's eye. Literally, I shit you not. It was just funny. The whole scene just was. It was beautiful, man.
So, all right, they go to their next big competition. When you get to the next big competition, that's when you get to meet what, Falcon in the Midnights or something.
Bird in the Midnight
like,
Falcons.
Bird in the Midnight Falcons. You know, all their music sound like you gotta have like candles burning when you play it.
Yeah, it's not generic. Basically, that's what the Five Heartbeats were trying to say. Everything sounded the same in the 50s, and the Five Heartbeats were different because they added soul to their funk.
They had a little funk to it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Everybody performs, and then there's this hateration group. The hateration group was like, yo, check it, look, you got to use, the house piano man, which brings us to your point. Please illustrate the scene, my brother.
Well, thank you for giving me the honor. So basically, the house rules is they have to have like the in-house people play the instruments, and Duck basically writes these songs. The songs are his heart. Duck played, amazingly by Robin Townsend, who, aka is Meteor Man, if you ever remember that movie, guys. But long story short, they're performing. One of the groups, I can't remember which one, I think it was Bird's group, he had told his entourage, his girls or whatever, to start booing, basically to get the crowd like roaring or whatever, so they can actually get the Five Heartbeats eliminated. Okay, so basically the Five Heartbeats had two things against them. They couldn't actually play their own instruments, and they already had the house against them. So basically the boos happened, and then there's Choir Boy. God bless him. They were throwing bottles at Choir Boy, and that's one of the things about the movie that was kind of funny too. It was a running gag.
Choir Boy got good reflexes though, because he was.
That boy could have been Spider-Man. That's your Miles Morales right there. The boy was like dodging it like he was in the Matrix or something.
Yeah, like because and the bottles were going regular speed for us, but for him, he was just like.
It was in bullet time. But yeah, long story short, what happens is they're throwing bottles. The music is getting warped by the piano player as he looks at Doug, who's like really like saying he can't handle this. He turns back, and then he has this like a moment of epiphany or whatever. Slams the piano dude off the chair, start jamming the heck out of the piano, and then Eddie Kane's soulful butt comes out with one high note, and then the girls that were supposed to be booing at the first, like in the front, that was supposed to be working for Bird and the Midnight Falcon, they get wet, and that's a wrap. The Five Heartbeats win.
All right, let me illustrate this, because wet doesn't. All right, homegirl was squirming in the seat. Dude gave her an orgasm just by hitting the note.
Ladies, if you still don't understand this, basically 50 Shades of Grey happened times an infinity in that scene for a lot of women.
In one chair. You know what I'm saying? She was just sitting there, and then of course, you know what I'm saying. So she's like squirming in the chair. So Duck gets off the piano. Him, JT, everybody jumps off the stage.
They do it a cappella.
They're doing it a cappella. So he's like, "Is there a heart? Is there a heart? Stand up! Stand up! Look, and when he say stand up, all the women just jump up. They get up. Of course, they go crazy because they like, "This is my heart, boo. I want you to have my heart. It's gonna be a house."
And this was before, like in the 50s too, before like panties were being thrown and everything.
Yeah. This was unheard of. So he's singing. Then the chick, he happens to kiss her hand, and the chick faints. Like
I thought she died. I mean, like, didn't she like spaz out? Because we don't see her no more in the movie. Did she just like stroke out or something?
Yeah, she literally went to heaven off of that. Just the Five Heartbeats was that bad. So anyway, they do well. Everything's going crazy. Everybody's happy. We're at the after party. So we get to the after party. Got the manager chilling. He's like, "Yo, y'all did a great job. It's a great show. Everything." Now we get introduced to Big Red. Big Red. Let me set this up for you. Big Red is like a record company mogul.
He's Berry Gordy on acid, basically. Like Lex Luthor and Berry Gordy, who created Motown, if you put them together.
Yeah, he was the Suge Knight of the day. Like, he was the...
Yeah, true.
Dude was mad dirty. Yeah, so dude was mad dirty. He approaches the manager. Well, he approaches the group first, like, "Yo, I want to sign y'all. Y'all real good." And the manager's like, Yeah. And he was like, "Stop it. Block. Let me get that card." He took the card, and then you can kind of see the dichotomy is these cats know each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's some more great directing from my man Robert T. But I can say Robert T. because I know him like that. Mm-hmm. But so they go around and they start kind of they get their single done. They start shopping around and they visit this white record label. Mm-hmm. And the white record label actually wants them to, I
Change
guess,
the cover.
kind of like ghost write for another group they have called the Five Horsemen. Now,
Oh,
remember
no,
the
yeah,
Five
that's it.
Horsemen because they're going to come in later. It's mad funny. But anyway, the Five Horsemen are like this white group that are just like the Five Heartbeats, but just
But not.
white. So, all right. So imagine like when everybody's like stand up, like it's like stand up,
You get more of this. Stand up,
stand up,
stand up, bow and stand up.
stand
It
up.
just didn't work.
Is
Really
there a
didn't.
heart? Is there a heart?
Is there a heart?
So they were like, nah, we can't rock with them. So
Yeah.
then they end up going back to Big Red. Now, of course, managers are a little hesitant, but they sign anyway. Boom, they go out on tour. So once they go on tour, my brother.
Oh, they go on tour, they light it up, they start making money, everything gets really good. But Eddie Kane and his family has a history of drinking. So he's basically like the poster child for all things that can go bad. His heart's always in the right place, but he let drugs control him because obviously more money's involved and he's not really happy with himself. So he basically becomes a problem for the group. Eventually all good things must actually come to an end. What happens is there's like a segue in midway through the movie where Big Red is found out to be really more than Suge Knight than we always expected, because he also has Bird and the Midnight Falcons actually aligned in his his production calls. He signed him like maybe a few months after the Five Heartbeats, who knows? But we actually see the true grit of Big Red when he actually I shit you not. He literally gets in a little dispute with one of his clients who's like, hey man, we gotta talk about our contract or whatever. And Big Red is cool at first. He's like, hey, my business hours are 9 to 5. Woo woo. And then like he was like, look here, motherfucker, you redhead motherfucker. I need to talk to you about my discussion of my. Before he can finish that sentence, Big Red punches him 3 times in the stomach. Him and his boy snatches him up. They take him out to a balcony, hang him from the balcony by his legs. Some of you guys who like are 90s buff probably remember Suge Knight may have allegedly did this to Vanilla Ice. Same thing happened to Big Red. To Bird. They snatch him up, start wailing on his legs like it was a Rick James, Charlie Murphy special. And he's like, where's my business hours? And then like they snatch him back up. Bird is like crying like a little baby, and he's like, when's my business hours?
And then he put the gun to his head. He put the little fictional gun
on his head as the camera pans right to him, and I'll never forget Bird's face. 9 to 5.
You know that like he would have made that scene a little bit better is if he did. When you was little, you just got whooped. You know what I'm saying? White kids, y'all know about this, but with black kids, you just got whooped, and like like you be crying, you be like, you suck that little bottom lip in, you be like,
He couldn't even breathe, man. That was so bad about it. It was like,
he said he hated him when he was in the car. He was like, I hate you, I hate you.
He did, but
in his mind.
I'm really glad they actually had that scene though, because it segued into like later into the plot where Bird basically is like the snitch. He's going to basically be the one who who ends up getting Big Red, sent out of the equation, because that was just basically when we first find out that Big Red is not who he said he is. But what basically draws the whole story to front is 2 things. Eddie Kane and his drug abuses and his problems. They have to kick Eddie Kane out the group. They replace him with another dude named Flash, who's basically kind of like Eddie Kane, but more prissy. Like he's going to be the guy who's going to leave you when all is said and done.
He's more of a pretty boy, I guess.
Yeah. He's basically Genuine of the 50s.
He was the Genuine of the day. Yeah. Matter of fact, let's rewind real quick. Flash was also in a competition like earlier. Dude took his shirt off. Dude was like the black Luke Cage. Well, I guess Luke Cage is black. So he was like Luke Cage. He was like the Luke Cage of the singing, because like all his boys was like Chippendales dancers, because they all took it, and all you saw was Mad Muscles and Baby Oil flying.
It was like watching an urban version of Magic Mike with a sing-along mixed into it, ladies.
Oh man, so.
But it got intense because like the story comes full circle when Big Red hires somebody to kill the Five Heartbeats' true manager. Yes. And that doesn't go well because Eddie Kane basically helped set it up, like the time and everything. under the because he was having problems with the manager. The manager was basically trying to do what was right for the group and saying, Eddie Kane, you need to get clean, man, because
he wasn't showing up on time. He was, what I'm saying, and like Flash was, Flash was that dude that be hanging around your girl, and if you mess up, he gonna get her.
Because
like
creeping.
Flash kept
creeping.
Flash was killing with the manager way too hard, and like Eddie was like messing around, showing up late, won't come to rehearsals, and Flash was like, I know all the songs, I know all got this, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, Eddie Kane out, Flash is it.
Yep, he was just waiting. It was like jump rope. He was just waiting for the right move just to get in there.
Yep.
So yeah.
Flash comes in. They have the meeting where they kind of fall out over who's going to be the manager, Big Red or the original manager. Cannot remember his name. I'm so sorry, man, because you did a wonderful job in this movie, and I cannot remember your name. But anyway,
we'll put it in the description, man.
Yeah. So Big Red has him killed. So of course, after they have the funeral and everything, and it's kind of messed up because Big Red comes to the funeral and has the nerve to like talk to Diane Carroll, the wife, like, if you ever need anything,
I'll
just
be
let
there.
me know. She smacks him with like the speed of like the Flash, because I didn't even see it coming, and I've seen this movie a lot of times, and she was like, it was kind of like the Dave Chappelle where he's like, yo Rick, let me tell you something, man. Boom!
You saw his perm, like the extensions of his perm just flop.
Yeah, his perm flew. You know what I'm saying? His perm, because Big Red's perm is like the dude from Doug, the green dude from Doug that got the orange hair. That's how Big Red's perm is. And when he smacked it, the perm went from laying right here to laying about right back there.
It became a side piece, quick.
she gave him some force. Mm-hmm. So he walks out after they're in an alley, and they're kind of like feeling all bad. And then Eddie's kind of like
he's drunk.
Even worse. Yeah, he's drunk. He's feeling even worse because he knows he's part of the setup.
Yeah.
So, of course, flash forward. They come to Eddie Kane, and then they bring Bird in, and they're like, yo, we got to put this dude in jail. You see some more exposition by some newspaper. Yep. Bird, Big Red is in jail. It's all good. Mm-hmm. So they continue on, and they have some more success with like another it's one or two more albums.
Yeah, it goes into the 70s, and they're into disco. They're changing their vibes and beats up. Yeah. They've won Grammys at this point in time in their career. They're basically at their highest high now. They've already built their lowest low. They're basically making money, but not really happy though, I would say. Yeah.
Because there's some situations where JT is feeling like he can't connect with a woman seriously, emotionally.
This is before sex addicts was a thing in the 70s. It was unheard of.
And one of my Chamberlain, he said, what did he say? He was going to put him in like dick, like
a dick therapy school.
Yeah, he said he was going to put him in like dick therapy.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember. I'm looking through my notes in this map. Oh, a dick control center.
There we go.
So Robert Townsend was like, want me to put you in a dick control center? Like, was he like? So and then choir boy flips. Dude turns into like Don Juan. Talk about they call me Rock. No, they don't call you no Rock.
No, they don't.
Your name is Choir Boy.
Mm-hmm. But because you were like born the preacher man's son.
You know what I'm saying?
Bottles. Remember the bottles, man. They were going towards your head just 10 years ago.
Yeah, just 10 years. Now all of a sudden your name is Rock. Yep. So everybody is like kind of feeling themselves.
Yeah,
the only dude that's kind of humble with it and kind of found, I guess, a sense of balance is Robert Townsend.
He found love.
Found love. Found this girl. He's like, yo, we about to get married. Yeah. Everything's all good. Everybody's happy. JT comes out, pulls his brother out, Robert Townsend. He's like, yo, Duck, are you sure this gonna be you sure this is what you want? He's like, yeah. They give each other a hug. Everything's all good as we think.
Wrong. Dion fucks it up.
Yeah. So, all right. So,
you want to do the honors, or should I?
You go ahead. I can't. It hurts, man. It hurts too much. You got to do it.
I'll start off, and then we'll work this out together, my friend. All right. Leon was a sex addict. This was basically before sex addicts was a thing.
This is before Eric Benet.
And maybe before Wilbur Chamberlain. We don't know that for sure. It's all fiction, but the problem was Leon fucked Duck's girlfriend multiple times when Duck, Robert Townsend, was with her. And they were trying to keep it hush-hush. And Leon didn't want want Duck to marry her because he knows who she is, but she was basically willing like to sweep that under the side because it only happened maybe once or twice, and she was really in love with Duck.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling a little emotional right now. You gotta take it from here.
Cool. So, you know, Duck is starting to feel something's kind of strange. You know,
Yeah.
you always gonna feel something ain't right. So
Yeah.
he decides to follow her.
He sent it.
Yeah. So he follows her. Now, of course, you know, brother out there, you know, he follows her. She goes to a hotel room. Everybody watching knows this is bad. Like when she's sneaking off to hotels, whether you're a man or woman, when your significant other is sneaking off to a hotel, and I don't know,
something's wrong. Oh,
yeah,
it might have segue too. And like in between when he was driving, I remember hearing that Eddie Kane, basically was shot in a robbery too. So that's probably something that should come.
we got a little piece of exposition on that. And it's nice how they tucked that in too.
I know, right?
So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like your basic exposition. It was just like it was tucked in real nice.
True exposition, because let's be honest, they weren't hanging around for years, so that was probably the only way we would have heard about it anyway. But he got shot. We don't know his story, but let's fast forward until he reaches the hotel.
When he comes up to the doorman is like, "Oh man, yo, you're Duck for the 5 Heartbeats. I'm so excited." And the dude is like, Duck, you can see his face is kind of like he's kind of sad because he knows one, you ain't got no reason to go to no hotel. You don't work at a hotel. You don't own a hotel. You don't know nobody at a hotel. Why are you in a hotel? So anyway, he's like, yo, can I get your signature? So he's like, cool, outside. And then we get some more exposition. The guy's like, man, this is so great. My wife won't believe it. 2 heartbeats in one night.
Brilliantly written. So much exposition.
Yo. When he said 2 heartbeats in one night.
That's a wrap.
Now, I'm gonna give some love to Duck right now because, in all honesty,
a lot of emotion.
I don't know if I'd be able to walk back to my car on that.
I would have walked upstairs.
I'm gonna be honest. I might have hulked out.
on the dude who said it, I would have knocked him out too. I would have ran to the front desk and be like, "There's a light skinned chick, where'd she go?" And they would be like, she went up to 506, and I'd be like, I'm going to 506. Give me a key. John Wick.
They'd be like,
be like John Wick over there, karate chops with a gun.
I would have kicked the door down. Nah, I would have came in that joint. Remember when Martin thought Gina was cheating on him in Chicago? He drove overnight in the Pacer. I would have came out the bed like that. And like I'd be like, what y'all doing in here? So anyway.
He finds out like that his wife is cheating, and then we flash forward to like I guess a couple of weeks later. They're at a Lifetime Achievement Award thing. It's at this point we realize that Flash is about to leave the 5 Heartbeats because he's actually about to get some success on his own as a single artist. So he's about to, this is basically the crucial scene where the group disband essentially. Flash congratulates the 5 Heartbeats for taking him in, nourishing him, and getting his career up, and then he ditches him, and then he leaves awkwardly, and then we see.
But now hold up, but we got to set this joint up. All right, everybody's happy. They had this nice little dinner. It's wonderful. They got tablecloths. A lot of y'all probably haven't ate at a dinner where there's a tablecloth. Please go out there and eat somewhere where there's something on the table.
You don't know what a tablecloth is.
So anyway, they got a little champagne glass. Everybody's happy. They're doing the golf clap. And Flash is like, I'd like to thank y'all. It's great. It's wonderful. But there's also something I have to say. I have a solo album. Like, I'm leaving the group. And the album is called Flash. It's lonely at the top. And he was like, dude said the crucial moment is he said the album's coming out in 2 weeks. Meaning, dude been recording a secret album. He did the original Beyonce. He had the secret album.
Well, you gotta bring it up, man. That's true.
You had a secret album, so you mean you've been using our time and resources? We cut your own little disc, and now you're gonna come out and talk about Flash. It's lonely at the top. Oh, it's gonna be lonely at the top. It's gonna be painful at the top too. So anyway, he leaves off. Everybody's kind of quiet, but they do the clap because they don't know what.
They can't do nothing to him when there's a live audience.
Yeah. So Duck comes on and he's like, yo, I've been writing, I've been having a good time, and this person said that I would become a better writer when I suffer more. So he never
really understood what that meant growing up.
He's like, I never really understood what that meant. but now I have my brother and my fiance to think for. Now when
And
he
then his
says,
brother's got a stupid look in his eye, like, yeah, thank you. He doesn't know what that means.
he's like, thank you, thank you so much.
Thank you. But the wife, like the girl, like the fiance knows right off the bat.
Fiance and
like,
the acting
on her
on
eyes.
yeah, the acting on her face was like great, like
Acting
homegirl,
all around, like his brother acting stupid and her. It was just so.
Yeah, because the brother is so like narcissistic that he's like, I'm getting kudos. He's like, yeah. Like,
and then basically he gets it spelled out for him when Duck like freaks out and was like, my brother, my motherfucking brother who never let me have anything in my freaking life, brother. And he's like, what? What's going on here? And then basically like that's a wrap. He kind of exposed both of them in front of this lifetime achievement ceremony or whatever, and everybody finds out. He walks off the stage, and then we basically are back to the beginning of the story, where like we see Duck reminiscing in, I guess, the '90s at like actually formed, and from there, that's like basically the end of the 5 Heartbeats, or so we think.
Yeah. Then he gets a letter from Choir Boy. Choir Boy's like, hey, why don't you?
It's not rock anymore. That didn't last long.
Yeah, he was rock for like a little bit. And then, like, so he gets a letter from Choir Boy asking him to come to a church service with him, and he has a surprise. So he goes to the church service. He sees Rock, aka Choir Boy, in the choir stand, and like Choir Boy looks at him, gives him a little nod, and he's like, "Thank you for coming," but on the low. And then so they start to sing. Eddie comes out. He's singing with the choir.
What's going on?
That's right.
Sound like a soulful more version of Michael Bolton.
Yeah, and his wife is with him, so it's like it's like beautiful because you have this woman that he was doing wrong for a long time, and she came back to him and helped nurse him back to health, and she's with him now. One thing I will say, fellas out there, if you find a woman that will nurse you back to health after you done acted a fool, you better keep her. I'm telling you, there ain't too many around him like that.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Lisa. I love you, girl. I love you. But anyway, so Eddie Kane sings. After they finish, they all reconnect. It's like, man, it's great to see you. It's been a long time. So after that, Duck is like, I need to go see my brother. So he goes to see JT. Now, to give you a little piece of before, they had this deal, whoever gets married first would name their child after the brother.
So sweet.
So he meets up with JT. JT looks at him. The kids are like, who is this? Because they've never seen him. Because, of course, it's kind of hard to be around when you've had sex with a woman that I'm planning on staying with the rest of my life. So, anyway, the kids kind of like run away. And, like, the girl, you get another great piece of exposition, but it's proper. She's like, Duck, come back here. Dad told us to come back. So now he knows that, like, his brother named his son after him, even through the beef, even through all that. So then they just walk together. They walk up to each other. They hug each other. It's a man bro moment. And you just,
Denzel Washington tear comes out of my eye. I'm sure it came
that little baby tear that, like, and normally in the theater you would try to hide. You'd be like, and try to wipe that. Be like, man, whoo, is the AC on? But you know what I'm saying? It's that loving moment. So they finally reconnect. Now, the last scene, they're at a family barbecue. Yeah. And I'll let you go on in.
All right. Well, like, basically, they have like a little reunion of sorts with the original 5 Heartbeats. Obviously, Flash is not there. He's basically sold out, or as much as a person can sold out. They show like some more exposition on the TV of like the whole, like the younger generations, like the kids of the 5 Heartbeats or whatever, watching like Flash with this. Basically, can I say it? He basically sold his soul to the devil, Hollywood.
And he's dancing with the 5 horsemen behind him, like the white dudes.
So he's earlier, essentially for the whole movie. But like, yeah, the 5 Heartbeats don't like that. They turn off the TV and it's like, let's show these youngsters how we used to get down. But they're old and they snapping and everything. They're trying to actually get it together and they like doing shoo-wop-wop. And then like basically,
it's a beautiful moment.
Yeah, it's a beautiful moment. It basically just shows that, even though they've had their ups and downs, they were a family. And that was like, I guess, like the whole lesson I got out of the whole movie is, no matter how hard it takes, you can't say goodbye. You got your family, you got to hold on to them no matter what. Ups and downs, they're always going to be there for you. And
There's a big message of brotherhood in it. You know what I'm saying? A really good message of brotherhood.
It's got a good message. It's probably one of the best fictional semi-autobiographies.
Yeah, like the fake biographies or whatever you want to call it.
It felt so real. That's what. In fact, for a long time, I literally thought everybody in the movie were singing those songs. Specifically, Michael Wright, who probably gave he gave a hell of a performance in this movie. I mean, you probably remember him from other movies too. He was in the Principal, which was a Belushi movie. Money Talk.
Aha.
Remember that? That's a classic. And then Robert Townsend, Meteor Man. Again, Harry Lennox in Man of Steel, The Matrix Reloaded. So, I mean, it's got a lot of familiar faces. You'll remember. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, boy. Yeah, Pops is in it from the Wayans brothers. I mean, long story short, the movie is great, and I don't understand how that many people actually have not seen it. So that's why me and my friend Michael Young here, we wanted to bring some attention to it. Sorry we're kind of doing overtime, but it's that good of a movie.
Yeah, because we're a little bit over 30 minutes, but at least I think. But, my rating is a 10 out of 10. And before people start saying, oh, why, I rate movies based on their genre. So if I give an action movie a 10 out of 10, that means that it's a 10 action movie. I'm not going to put that joint up against. I'm not going to put it up against like Shawshank Redemption.
It's apples to oranges. You never will be able to compare it.
So as far as a film about like musicians and like Jersey Boys ain't messing with Five Heartbeats. All right, I'm just keeping it real. That joint ain't nothing. There ain't nothing touching Five Heartbeats. Like when it comes to like fictional, real singing groups or something, whatever. Even real singing groups. Ain't nothing messing with it. Like, I do have a soft spot in my heart for the Jackson 5 movie, the VH1 joint, but still, that joint ain't messing with it. That joint ain't messing with it neither.
Not even. I would say the Five Heartbeats is better than the Temptation movie that came out many years ago too. It was.
Man, ain't nothing touching the Five Heartbeats. But
exactly.
So I give it a 10. I give it a 10 out of 10. What's your rating?
Oh man, 10 out of 10, hands down. I mean, it's one of the movies I grew up watching. In fact, I was holding out that I was probably going to lower my rating because I haven't seen it in such a long time, and I've seen so many movies since then. But like you said, it's a different genre. You can't. It's apples to oranges. You'll never be able to compare it to the Shawshank Redemption. But from what I actually got out of the movie, and I mean, again, A+ with the writing and all the subtext, and the dialogue, and all the exposition, because they handled a lot in such a small amount of time with this whole movie. You feel like you were with these characters from the beginning. So
and you never felt like there was like any wasted scenes or wasted screen
everything
time.
Worked. It fit like it was perfect. And that's one of the reasons why, again, it's the perfect 10 out of 10 for me as well. And definitely check it out, Netflix, Hulu, whatever you got, try to find it. It's probably like $3.99 now if you buy it, because it came out like in the early 90s. So no excuses for you. Don't let this review actually sway you from seeing it, since we told the whole story. Go see it.
You gotta experience it. It's better when you experience it. It's brilliance, and the brilliance is the beautiful, and the brilliance is the shining.
Amen, my brother. If you're not gonna experience it in IMAX, you'll be experiencing it in ISAC. Okay, that made no sense. Do it.
All right, cool. So let's wrap it up. What's your shout outs? I know you got some shout outs for some stuff.
Shout out to my boy Micah. Shout out to my boy Michael Young for actually joining me today in this wonderful hangout. And shout out to everybody who's watching this. I really appreciate all the love. Hi, Mom.
Yes. All right. Well, shout out to Brandon Easton, who is a finalist on the Disney ABC Writer Fellowship. Shout out to LeSean Thomas, who's running a Kickstarter. There's like 6 days left or whatever for Cannon Busters. If you love action animated series, definitely check it out. Shout out to Karen Marine for KTST FM, having me on yesterday. Got to actually talk a little bit of movies with Miguel Castro. Shout out to myself. No, I was just playing. But
we're gonna put those links in there. We're gonna put
those links. But shout out to y'all for watching. Thank y'all for enjoying, us talk crazy about Five Heartbeats, which we love so much.
Yeah, I'm just sorry that we didn't have a battle to give you, because we both love this movie so much. So that's got to say something. I mean, if we can actually get along on a movie after what we did with Interstellar last week, you really got to go check it out, because we usually we bump heads, and that's what I like about it. But I might have to fire him now, since we got a little bit more in common.
Man, we can't do this no more.
We're gonna figure something out. We got a beef about something. Maybe next week, Tupac. We'll find out.
Well, hold up. Do you like Hunger Games?
Actually, I do, but I didn't like the last movie. We're gonna talk about that.
Well, all right, cool. Because I've only seen the first one and I didn't like it, so I've never watched anything else.
Second one's better because the second one doesn't have like that motion thing. But we're gonna.
All right, maybe I'll check out the second one and I'll let you know what's up.
Alrighty then. Well, where can the people find you at, bro?
On Instagram, Twitter at OneYoungsta, which is ONEYOUNGSTA, and my website is oneyoungster.com, spelled the same exact way.
Cool. Find me on my website, thedudesmoviereview.com. Find my blog, my Twitter, everything's over there. Peace.
Peace.